Okay, hello. So that was my version of George Lynch's guitar solo for In My Dreams from the Under Lock and Key album that the whole band wrote. Each member had a part in this song. Don, George, Jeff, Mick, all got writing credits for the song. It's a great song. It's one that I'd say got him noticed the most. Had a great video. It's one of my favorite videos. And I guess Breaking the Chains was their first popular song. But then this came along, and I've always liked it, and it's been a great song. It's one of those, well, I wish I wrote it, but I didn't. So, and another thing about this song, I think it was 85, 86. Yeah, when the Under Lock and Key came out, so it had to be around that time. George just won an award for this guitar solo, In My Dreams, and it was for Guitar for the Practicing Musician or Guitar World, one of the two. And well deserving. It's a great solo. And it's not that difficult to play. With a little practice and a little determination to play it. And as I always, well, I may not have always said, but what I say now is incorporate your own style into the solo that you're trying to play from another guitar player. And I like to get into the song first instead of the guitar solo at this time. But we'll get into the guitar solo. It's a great solo, as I said. So, it's in E minor song. And we'll just start off. And it's, well, in my dreams, it's still the same. Your love is strong, but still remains. Okay, I always love it when there's only one guitar player in the band. I think it's much better as the guitar player himself makes him a better player because he has to play all the parts. And in this particular song, I think this kind of, in this arpeggio chord thing right here, which means that two guitars could do that. One guitar would be playing the rhythm and the other guitar player would be doing this part. But to me, who needs another guitar player except like Judas Priest and maybe Metallica and maybe some certain bands need that two guitar. But since I grew up with Edward Van Halen and George Lynch and among others, But they were the only guitar players in the band. And of course, that's what I wanted to do, is be the only guitar player in the band. And sometimes I had to work with another rhythm guitar player, which is fine. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, we'll get into the song. And it's... starting from A to B to D to E. Just like that. And then we're at E. And then A to B to D. And then A to B to D. And then C. So that's C, G, and E. And that's the beginning of the rhythm part of the intro. And then we get into the triad of the kind of the lead part, I guess you would say. But it's really cool. And that's why George just goes from there into this part, which is a B to E to the open E. Just like that. B to E. And then sliding down to D, which is A and D and E. And then we got the, well, as I just said, the A to D, and then the sorry for the attitude note there. So we got B to E, A to D, and then G, D, back to A, and then the G5 and A5. Okay, so that was the intro. And now, maybe the coolest part of the song, which is the verse. We got an open D, which is A and D notes, A and D strings, the fifth and fourth. Like that. The A and D, and then hit them both at the same time, which is basically a D chord. Then we got a E, 5. So. And then we got C, E, D, D. And then slide down like that, and then back into it. And we're at that part. And then we got C, G, D, D. And we're moving on. And this is the what can I say or do. You don't come back, we're through. Something like that. I got E, which is E5, which is the notes are E and B to C. What can I? Like that. Kind of hammer and pull off. What can I say or do? Just like that. And we move on to D. We got a D chord here. And we got the suspended 4, which is right there. And then we got just like that. Or then we got A major with a C sharp in the bass inversion. Okay. And then right here at this A major with the C sharp right here, and we just go, which is C. I mean D. D, C, A, G, A, G. And we'll go through it all one quick time. And right there in the G, and now we're into the chorus, which is pretty neat chorus. And here we go. It's E, C, D, E. E, C, B, E. And you can chunk on the E, low E string, like that. Or during that, you could hit B and G. And second time, D and G. Okay, so we're right here at the C after the D and G, and well, first off the B and G, and then D and G. Or if you want, you could probably hit the harmonics here, which is the same notes at the 5th fret. And then we moved on from there. So, from the... So it's C to D to C to D to E. C, D, C, D, E. And then... and then back into the verse. But one thing I did want to show you is the Beats from the East, which shows George playing really great live in concert from Japan. And it was a great album. It is a great album. Yeah, it's got George doing his guitar solo, and so check it out. But what I'm getting to is the part that George throws in to get back into the second verse. And that's how the album version is. But let's do it kind of like how George did live in concert, or at least did in Japan. We're going from the chorus and into the second verse. Okay, so what he's doing, it's a symmetrical pattern that people like George and Edward Van Halen and among others, either that's the way they learned to play, or I would say with Edward and George, that's the way they play. And with symmetrical patterns, the first time I learned it was the song from The Firm, which was I hope that reminds you of the song, because I can't remember the song. I just know it was The Firm, and with Paul Rodgers and Jimmy Page, I think, wasn't it? Well, anyway, and so I talked to my teacher about that, and he said this is symmetrical, and I thought, oh, cool. See, because it's not actual in a key, it's just that it just works because it's within the notes of the key. And so as time moved on, symmetrical became different meanings, and just watching Edward play in the US Festival concert was really fascinating, because he used some symmetrical playing in that. And that's basically what Edward is. He plays symmetrically. So anyway, we'll move on. Anyway, we got this. Sliding up to A, G, and E. Take my rings off for the moment. So we got A, G, E, F sharp, E, E, G, B, and then we got B, A, G, F sharp, right here, and then E, and D, and then I think it goes from, you can throw in the C sharp to B, and then it slides down. That's about the closest that I came to what he's doing. And to me, it sounds just like what he's doing. So it's... He might be just throwing in the E instead of the G, but anyway, it's still that symmetrical pattern that I'm showing you. A, G, E. We got stretch, because there's 2 frets in between this. And then we got E, D, and B. Just two frets on the first strings, which is the B and E. First and second strings. And then, use your pinky, and we got a B, A, and G, F sharp, E, and D, and then C sharp, B. I'm just going along as I go. So it's B, and then slide down, and then get back into the second verse. So I hope you got that. And we'll move on to the second verse, which is the same as the first. what can I say or do? You won't come back, we're through. I realized too late. Baby, your love has turned away. And we're into the chorus again, which is a good chorus. And the drums come in, so I stopped. Anyway, we're moving on. So that was a great solo, and it was fun to play, and I don't hear Dokken never played it much. George doesn't play it on his solo tours, but it's, in my opinion, a great song. And it's a great song for one guitar player, which, of course, is what I grew up liking, and so that's what I stick with. But what we got is E minor, using Aeolian and a blues scale, and as I said, don't you just like it when the scale sounds like the solo? And we got the E Aeolian, which is, well, the blues scale is the 1, flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, and a flat 7, as I just played the E blues scale. But I'll play it again. Which is E, G, A, B flat B, D, E, G, A, B flat, B, D, E, and G. Or you can end on E. Okay, and the Aeolian, which is a E, F sharp, G, A, G, A right here, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, and then B, C, E, F sharp, G. If I didn't mention that, throw in the A when you're going through this progression. Right here. At the A, as you're moving through the C, D, and E. If you so choose. I think that's what I've heard it in the song. Okay, and so we are moving right along, and we are all set for the guitar solo. But before we do that, let's go through the chords. As I was playing it, I was playing my version, of course, but I was playing along with the chords. I got E5, kind of basically the chorus, but it changes a little. But E, C, B, and then C, and then C, and then E, C, D, and then E. And this E is on the legato smooth part with the finger stretches like this. And so we're at the E, and then D to A, and then E, and then D to A, and then E, and then D, A, D, A. Hope you got that. Because we're moving on. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so now we're into the solo. So here we go. We got A to C, and then D to E. And you could do a tap at the 12th fret or hit the harmonic, pinch harmonics like that. So it's, I'll do it again. A, bend up the A, which is a B flat. Slide into C, and then D to E. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, George was great for winning this award because it's a great solo. And George's recipe for a guitar solo is kind of start off slow, he has said. Start off slow, so like play something right here, and then go up here and repeat it, and then go somewhere in the middle, and then after that throw in some speed, and then after that resolve it to a finale. And that's George's maybe, oh, I know, it was his formula for guitar solos in Dokken. And some of George's best solos are from Dokken. I hope you agree, because that's why George Lynch is George Lynch. Oh, something on that. I got to meet George Lynch with playing with Lynch Mob. He was at a club, and he came out to the bar, and it happened to be Valentine's Day. And George and I had a drink, and the bartender, so it was the three of us, and nobody else was there. And I brought my camera with a little 30, not even 35 millimeter, the little Kodak camera, and I got pictures of George playing, but I didn't have any film left, so I didn't have any pictures to get a picture of George, which would have been cool. He had the cool hair, and from the Lynch Mob days in the 90s. 95 maybe it was, 96, whatever it was. But it's great. He had a hell of a handshake. Strong handshake. So I got to shake his hand. And we all had a drink. We toasted Valentine's Day. And the bartender girl request. And then George agreed. And that was it. So it was great meeting George at a bar, which was something you could do back then. Yeah, of course, now in this 2025 era and beyond is all different, but it was great meeting George. And I met some other musicians at the club bars, club playing days, but we won't get into that. But here we are at the solo, and here we go. So we're right there, and we're at the E. And then from 5 to 9, slide, and I love that part. It's B to G, just like that. The B here and the G right here, at the 12th fret, and we end on the F sharp. Go. And then, this is probably one of the coolest parts of the solo. You gotta get your fingers in these little compartments of the frets. And it's... So it's A to B, and then it's outlining an E minor chord, which works in the key that we're in. And we got a G, a E, and a B, just like that. And then a F sharp, a D sharp. Yeah, I'm gonna go D sharp. So F sharp, D sharp, and B. And we're at that point with the F, D sharp, and B, and then at the D sharp, hit this minor second here, which is a D sharp to an E, and we're moving right along, and we got the E, and the A, and the B, and the C. Like that. And it ends, this phrase ends at the B from the E. So we got all this configuration. Which is a kind of like an Ingve kind of thing. Which Ingve does something like this. Sequence kind of thing. And that's what George is doing there. Or it sounds like some kind of TV show maybe. I don't know. So we're here, and we're moving on to the solo, and we got kind of that thing. It's just these three symmetrical parts maybe, and George's vibrato there. And I do that about 3 frets, but sometimes I just go 1 fret. I do incorporate that into my style of playing because I'm a George Lynch fan and he's influenced me as a player. So I throw it in at times. And that's basically what it is. Right then, I'll explain it right now. A, B flat, G, A, B. Kind of just like that. A, B flat, pull off to the G, and we got the E, the A, the E. Going to the G, and that's it on that. The only part when you're doing this part of the solo, as you want to end this phrase from A to E. So as you're playing, just play, and it's a feeling thing. So that's what I've always been saying, and that's what I believe is that just play, and the wrong note is no big deal, but the loss of feeling is inexcusable. That's a quote, not mine. It was someone else's. So I'll move on. And here we go. Just like that. I don't know why I say just like that, but it is just like that. And we're moving on. And to this part, we're at A, bend up to a B, slide into it. So from that A to B and C, vibrato there at the C, and I tend to extend that to like this when I play it. Back to the A, vibrato. I don't think George so much does that hammer and pull off. But I don't extend it too much. That's just the way I play it. And we're right here at the A, at the 14th fret. Now, there's a couple songs that I feel when you hear it that you should do the roar. And this is one of them. Well, that's the only time we're going to go over it, because if you want to throw it in, you can. When George has played this, I think he's thrown it in before, but it's just very few occasions I've seen him play it. Oh, but the video is so awesome, isn't it? George playing that guitar solo, and the band, and the rain, and Don, and his hat, and everything. So it's a cool video. It's one of my favorites. So we're up to that part. If I want to throw it in, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, I'm just blabbering on. Here we got the stretch. Now, I wouldn't recommend tapping it because it's not something you want to do. But this is done during the E chord to the D and A chord. But here we go. It's a legato phrase you want to keep smooth. So practice your stretches and you can achieve this. But what we got here is a E, a G, and a B triad there on the first string, the E string, and we'll go from there. It's as I just said, E, G, and B, which outlines an E minor chord, and we're going to C from the 19th fret to the 20th. And these notes are like 30-second notes, and that's what they are. Okay, so from the 20th fret, go back to the 19th fret. Okay, so that's where we are so far. And the next phrase is... Now, I may be simplifying that. Maybe, maybe not, but that's just the way I see it and hear it, and that's the way George is doing it. So it's a great way to play it, and that's why I do it. But yeah, I've seen George play it, and I think that's what he does. So slide in. We got the C, B, and A, and then we got the G, F sharp, and E, and then we got D sharp or E flat, but I'm gonna go D sharp. It's all on the music theory part. But D sharp, D, and C. Like that. So. And we're ending on the C, and then bend right here at the 20th fret with your pinky and ring finger. And bend up a whole step. Like that. And vibrato at the 3rd string with your 3rd finger and ring finger at the 20th fret. The G string, 3rd string. And from there we go to the pretty much an A chord, major chord, which are using a C sharp and A at the 14th fret, bend up, and vibrato on the A. And that's the end of the solo. And then back to the intro, which I think songs that go back to the intro with the drums like that are cool. It's not the only song that does that, but that's why it's cool. I like it. Bands that do that, guitar players that do that. Dio comes to mind. Anyway, okay. So we go back to the chorus. And here we go. And that's where we get back to the beginning. It's in my dreams, it's still the same. Your love is strong and still remains. That's the way George ends it from Light in the East, Beast from the East. Which works because it's in E minor, so it ends on E. Another thing I want to throw in there. I saw Dokken with George Lynch, of course. I also saw Dokken with Red Beach, so there. But anyway, I got to the arena early, and this is the first time I did it, but since it's Dokken, it was the Aerosmith Dokken tour. If you saw it, you know what I mean. But I don't know if you did this, but I was with a friend, and I left him, and I just thought, this is too cool. I have to walk around the arena. So I got up, walked, and of course this is the 80s. I guess you could get away with that. And I was already, I had good seats. On George's side, of course. And I'll move on. I walked around, started from here, walked around the arena, and I didn't know what I was expecting to see. I just thought I have to go back there behind the band and see what's there. Well, good thing I did. It's just I wish I had my camera, which I didn't have a camera then. But I do have a camera story. I'll tell you that later in some other video. And, oh my gosh, I stood there for 10 minutes at least, if not more. And back at that time is when maybe, I don't know, there's other bands that I saw do that from pictures. And George had all 5 of his guitars that he used on that tour. He had the Kamikaze ESP. He had the Tiger Striped ESP, and he had the Kramer, which is similar to this. You know, the one George had that was similar to this with all the written stuff on it, and this is the same thing. This is actually Edward Van Halen's guitar. It's a Beretta type of thing, because I had to figure out get this thought out, and for lack of a better word, thought out, because I like to use the tremolo, and so I thought that out and put kind of the stuff here from the tremolo parts, and did that with a Dremel tool. And yeah, so this is an Edward Van Halen Beretta model from the 80s. And this is an original 80s Floyd Rose, 84. And I got it for a heck of a price at a music store. And so George had his model like this. And then there was the white one with the graffiti on it, called the graffiti guitar, was there. And I think that was all that I remember that he used on that tour. So I wanted to throw that in, Story of George. And another thing I wanted to throw in is that this is my George Lynch guitar in so many words, that I could have bought George's guitar, his signature, one of the cheaper models, the LTD. But at the time, I thought, yeah, it's cool, but I wanted to get my own. So I got this. It's a dinky guitar, reverse headstock, Jackson, 22 frets. It's got the got that switch, that kill switch, and it's got the single coils. And then you push it, and you got this. This is a Seymour Duncan distorted humbucker, not George's signature, but I got this put in, and I did this all myself, and I'm proud of that. And I got this Floyd Rose, and it's routed out in the back, and I don't like it so much routed out in the back because I'm limited. But anyway, this is my guitar, and here's my input that is similar to George's. This was not intentionally. It's just the way that it wired up was like this, to be like George has it. And it works for me. And then this is a Seymour Duncan, just a single coil. I don't remember what the name of it is. And the paint scheme is just basically it's blue, but the stuff I threw on makes it seem more than it is, but it's not. It's just a blue dinky Jackson. And I got this in the back and some more stuff. This is purple. This is painted that. I lost the protector of this, so I made this. And I got the noisy springs, which is what I prefer. You get more of a tone, not the noises. I got a Floyd Rose brass bar here. And it's a Jackson guitar, and I like it. And I just wanted to share that because this is influenced by George Lynch and his kamikazes and such. Oh, and when I saw George playing his Tiger, he didn't have a Floyd on it at that time in '87 when I saw him. So that was cool. We're going to move on, and I'll play the solo. And then that'll be it. So thanks for watching. And like I said, this is my George Lynch guitar, and I like it. But I would change things if I could. But anyway, moving on. that